If you lived in the military exclusion zone and you were even 116 Japanese, what happened? Even if you were a U.S. citizen,
Relocated.
yeah, the government took you out of your home, brought you to places like Manzanar. And some people were in camps like this for 3 years and 8 months, some even longer than that, some up to 4 years. So, did everyone draw all those, or write in all those different maps here?
Yeah.
Were you surprised to see that there were camps that went all the way out to Arkansas?
Yes.
Lots and lots of people who took some very long, uncomfortable train rides up to Arkansas. You guys do okay on the word search?
Yeah.
Find everything? Okay, and then I'm not going to check your mazes. I'm sure you're all capable of drawing mazes. But who can tell me what the word Manzanar means in Spanish? Oh man, everyone. Okay, you can all say it at once.
Apple orchard.
Awesome, cool. Yes, so Manzanar, the name, preceded this camp that took on that name by a number of years. You guys know when that town was founded? It was called Manzanar? I hear George Chafee started looking into them. It became Manzanar in 1905. All right, tic-tac-toe. If you guys, you've already been able to get 3 in a row, I can guarantee it, because you're inside one of these buildings. You've probably seen a flag. If you don't see a jackrabbit, but you see another type of animal that lives here at Manzanar, and there are many, go ahead and cross the sky off. A lot of those jackrabbits in midday are sleeping under bushes, hiding from junior rangers. So they're sort of hard to spot. But to link it back to history a little bit, you guys know that Manzanar had a petting zoo. So when people were incarcerated here, some of them decided to go out, find some of the local fauna, and put them into a petting zoo. It didn't last that long, but it is a part of this history because there are lots of different animals that call Manzanar home. So keep your eyes open for them. If you're lucky, you'll see a scorpion.
Is it 12 inches long? Yeah,
They are not that big. Please don't touch them. Okay, Manzanar map. So, who can tell me what the correct answer to this is? Yeah. 112. Bingo. If you didn't get 112, please check your map. Have your neighbor check your map. But I think the most important about this is, what does it tell you about life for people who lived in these blocks?
No privacy.
There was no privacy. What about, was it like always the same? Could you sort of settle in and things remain the same?
Constantly changing.
Constantly changing. So for people that were confined here in Manzanar, it was hard to lead a life of what we would generally call normalcy, because there was so much change. There was change with the people that lived in your block. There was change coming from government regulations. There were changes with things like linoleum and plasterboard going into your room that you lived in, so you had to move all your stuff out, you had to move out. So people were dealing with constant change here at Manzanar, and that never changed. The only thing constant here was change. Okay, did everyone do the crossword puzzle?
Yeah.
All right. So this is one of my favorite pages in here because it connects you to some of the really extraordinary things that remain here at Manzanar that were built by the people incarcerated here, and that is the gardens. Did you guys all see pictures of gardens in the exhibits in the movies? Okay, what do you guys think of those?
They're beautiful.
They're beautiful. Why do you think people built those? So peace, I heard peace maybe for some people who were Issei, who had immigrated here, maybe it reminded them of Japan. That's okay, go ahead and go through. What else? What do you guys think if you were stuck in 1 square mile, less than 1 square mile? Would you want to like maybe make it a little bit nicer than it was when you got here? Yeah, so early conditions in Manzanar were pretty bad. The entire area had been bulldozed. Every time the wind blew, that dust would start rising up. So people built really beautiful ornate gardens, and some of them just put in lawns in order to control the dust. What you're going to see out there today are those beautiful ornate gardens that people put in next to the barracks that they lived in, next to the mess halls where they had to wait in line for meals. And in the case of Merritt Park, which we talked about with Koichiro Nishi, a community garden where everyone could go and try to find some peace. So, did everyone draw a garden, your idea of what maybe you would create? All right, and you guys can go like this and I'll sort of look at them. I love seeing what people draw. Awesome. I see lots of bridges, so you guys will get to see some of those. Beautiful Japanese landscapes. Awesome. Okay, guys. Maybe the most important page in the book. Draw a picture or write about something interesting you saw or did at Manzanar. Yeah, maybe I'll take a couple hands, and then if you can just hold them in the air. The workbook. You guys like becoming junior rangers? Yeah! Awesome. Well, I'm so glad you took the time into doing this. What else? What are some other things you drew? I think a panel of names on the back wall. Is that what you drew? Yeah, that's really cool. So, do you remember how many names are up there? So those are 11,070 names. Those are the people that were confined here in Manzanar. If we had put up all of the names from all of the people that the government incarcerated, we would encircle this entire building and more. There were a total of 120,313 students. Okay. Anyone else want to share their favorite thing that they learned today? So the cemetery monument, great. Are you practicing your kanji? When you guys go out to that monument, be sure to read the exhibits that are out there. They're going to tell you about how the space at the cemetery is used today for the Manzanar Pilgrimage. That's coming up in a week and a half. It's been going on since 1969, and the Manzanar Committee, who runs that pilgrimage, we can all pretty much thank them for the fact that we're standing here today having this conversation. They worked tirelessly to make sure that Manzanar was not forgotten, and eventually it became a National Historic Site. So everyone stick your drawings in the air or what you wrote. I'm just going to sort of look around because I'm curious. Our tower, the movie. Awesome. Cool. You guys did an amazing job. Please give yourselves a round of applause. And now if you could all stick your right hand in the air, and I'm going to swear you as a junior ranger. As a junior ranger, I will help preserve special places, and share what I learned with others. Okay, so what you just promised to do was help preserve places like Manzanar. What's one way you can preserve Manzanar right now? Yeah. Respecting the site. Yeah. So what does that mean? How can you respect the site?
Without leaving the place a mess.
Yeah, don't leave your trash everywhere. Another thing is that you're going to see stuff out there that sort of looks like trash, but it is stuff that people who were incarcerated here left behind. And sometimes it's just like the nails from the building, but those tell an important story. So be sure, take a really close look at anything that you see out there, but don't pick it up, don't move it around, because those artifacts help us teach the history and help us also learn the history. We learn so much more about Manzanar because of what's still out on the site. And then the next thing, share what I learned with others. Everyone turn to your neighbor and tell them who the first person you're going to teach about Manzanar is. And it can't be someone you see. Okay, I heard a lot of good ideas of who you're going to teach about Manzanar. Everyone quiet down for a second. Do you guys want your badges?
Yes, please.
Same things that his Japanese American friends were forced to do. He still stuck it out with them. And that really says something, right? That you're willing to go through that really hard time, even though you're not required to. So, really important, amazing guy. Remember how I talked to you guys about the pilgrimage and the Manzanar Committee and how they started doing that in '69 and now we're a National Historic Site? So one of the leaders was a woman named Sukunatomi Embry. And she spent a huge part of her adult life advocating for Manzanar to be remembered. And we definitely wouldn't be standing here talking today if it were not for Sue. So really important person. And also a very good friend of Elisa Litch, who signed a lot of your books.
Oh, thank you.
This is the Yoneda family. The card is about Elaine Yoneda. Elaine Yoneda was not Japanese American, but she's an important part of this history because she represents a lot of families who had the potential to be torn apart by the government's decision to incarcerate Japanese Americans. Her husband, Carl Yoneda, was Japanese American, and of course their son, Tommy, was. So the government said, hey, your son and your husband are going to be put in one of these camps. You don't have to go. But she was forced, with a choice. Will I go or will I not? And of course, she chose to stay with her family. But she represents about I think it's like 270 people who were in these camps who came because of family reasons. And last but not least, did you guys see some of the amazing photographs in the museum today?
Yes.
A lot of those were taken by this gentleman, Toyomi Atake. It was illegal for him to bring a camera into camp in 1942 when he came here. But he was a professional photographer, and he said, it's my duty to document what's happening right now. So he snuck in a lens, and he had a friend from Los Angeles bring up the rest of the components. And then he built a camera that sort of looked like a lunchbox, so nobody would notice he was taking pictures. You guys probably saw that in the exhibit. We have a little model of it that was built by himself, Archie. If he hadn't have done that, we would know a lot less about what Manzanar was like. And eventually he was given the right to take photos professionally with the knowledge of the government here in Manzanar. And because of that, he made it possible for people who had just had babies to have baby photos, for people who graduated to have graduation photos, for people who got married to have wedding photos. So, he made a big difference in people's lives personally, but also he made a real impact on our understanding of the history of Manzanar. So, really important guy. So, you guys have 4 amazing options here. If we run out of one stack, I'll go get one.
Okay,
But
remember,
please take one
only take
each.
one, not one of each. One.
And they are called trading cards, so if you choose one and you get outside and you go, oh shoot, I wish I had this other one, talk to your friends.